Hi, I have a friend, Ronin Man. Ronin Man is the name of his YouTube channel. He's a guy that I've known here for 9 years. He was one of my yoga, he still is one of my yoga students here in Bangkok. And Ronin Man is the kind of guy that could live here in Bangkok happily on about $1,000 a month. Now he's a special kind of guy. I'll link his YouTube video down in the description if you want to take a look at him. But he is, again, an unusual kind of guy. He's not your average individual. He has moved in more expensive circles during the course of his life. He chooses to live a frugal lifestyle. He takes pride in it. He's good at it. And he recently said this on his YouTube channel.
Right now we're at a cafe ordering breakfast. Killer food for nothing. Like really nice Western food. You can't get this kind of deal in Bangkok anymore. No way. I think back in the 80s you can get a breakfast like this for $3, but not anymore.
Now there are plenty of places in Thailand, even here in Bangkok, where one could still live a frugal lifestyle. I don't know if $1,000 a month is an achievable goal. I think that's pushing it. As I said, Ronin Man is particularly good at it. And he, most people aren't going to live the way that he does. I purposely picked a store behind me that sells $2,000 laptops with a 5-star hotel behind it here in Bangkok, because I want to talk about the kind of lifestyle that is available here in Bangkok for people like me, and not necessarily wealthy people. There are plenty of wealthy people here. I'm not wealthy, but I'm doing okay. I have a pretty solid income that I worked my whole life to establish. I plan for retirement my whole working life. I have a good pension from the fire department in New York City. I maxed out my Social Security. Well, not max. I cashed in Social Security at 65. I could have waited until 67 and it would have went up a little bit more. But at 65, I got a higher number than you would if you cashed in at 62. And I invested in 401k plans. I invested in dividend stocks. And I also have an annuity. So all of that is coming in right now, and I have nearly $90,000 a year in fixed income for retirement, and it's a tax-advantaged income. So here in Bangkok, I can live an upper middle class lifestyle. And that's what I want to talk about today for the people that might be interested in that kind of lifestyle. It's available here. I couldn't live upper middle class in New York. I'd have to be a frugal guy to live in New York. New York, my hometown, is an expensive place to live. I could live there, but I'd have to really watch what I spend. Here, I can live a charmed life. I've always tried to dress nicely, but now that I'm getting older, I found that I really like to dress myself up even more nicely. I'm buying name brands. I'm wearing more colorful clothing. I mean, here in Southeast, the Asian cities that I've been to tend to have very stylish aspects to them, and I'm joining in on that. I'm getting older, so it's kind of like putting lipstick on a pig. But I recently was told by an AI bot that a study exists where older people who start to dress more colorfully and expressively tend to enjoy themselves a little bit more, and certainly that's what I'm all about these days. I am an old guy retired. I'm looking to enjoy myself. So yeah, I'm starting to dress myself up a little bit as well, a little bit more. I'm at Paris Miki, M-I-K-K-I, Paris Miki Cafe in Central World Mall. Central has a bunch of stores around the country. This is their signature mall here in Bangkok called Central World. It's a mid to upper price kind of stuff here. But it's a big mall. A lot of people come here, a lot of tourists come here. Miki Cafe is an example of the kind of place that I like to go to that, budget-minded folks are not going to come and have coffee here. A cappuccino costs 140 baht. That's about $4.30. Admittedly, a high price. You get cappuccino for half that at other cafes. But this is special. It's actually really a superior cup of coffee. which is hard to say in this world where you have so many competing coffee makers around, especially here in Asia. But I think everywhere. I've seen, in New York, that would be true as well. But it's an example of the kind of thing that I appreciate, the finer things in life that I'm able to enjoy in my retirement. Cheers. 2, maybe 3 times a month, I meet up with my buddy Marcus, who's probably earning about the same amount of money as me. He's a teacher at a very fancy school here, a very fancy Catholic school that he teaches at. But he also has an online business where he does online tutoring. And he has about 50 of his own private students, so he pulls in a lot as well. And he and I like to get together and have kind of high-so lunches now and again. He always picks the place. Well, today, we're in Top's Food Court.
This is a special top, though. This is not your ordinary top, I'll tell you. It's this is a special place. This does a lot of anything you want. You can get a steak here from the counter. You buy it and they'll cook it for you. There's ribs, there's salmon Wellington that I'm getting. There's lovely ham. So I mean, no, I wouldn't call this an ordinary low-so place. No, this is quite, on the ball. And Charlie, of course, is ordering from the table because he's used to service.
I just got back from my hometown, Brooklyn, where I was with my family. And at a family dinner, I was talking with my nephew, who is a young guy, early 30s, I think. I'm not sure exactly what his age is, but he's a young guy, and he's like me. He's like I was. He is now a lieutenant in the New York City Fire Department, working some of the busiest companies in the world. He's doing great. Just got married, just had a little baby. His life is really coming together. He's doing well. It was nice to see him. While I was talking to him, I realized he was wearing a Rolex. Now, up until now, I had kind of eliminated that because I like, it's a status symbol, and why spend money, and now I'm rethinking, maybe it's time for me to buy them. I have taken to wearing jewelry, but I'm wearing, cheap kind of costume stuff just for fun. And now I'm actually considering the Rolex, but that's not the point of this particular clip. The point is that I was in Brooklyn, and I had to go suddenly for a family funeral. It was a sad event, but it was nice to see my family. And to the point of this video, what I'm talking about are resources that you would need to live a happy retired lifestyle here or anywhere else in Southeast Asia, the Philippines or Vietnam or here in Thailand. If you really want to have a good lifestyle, you have to have, in my opinion, enough resources to respond to unforeseen events that are going to come up. They always do. If you're planning on living overseas, having a retired overseas expat life, resources are important for so many reasons that you don't see coming sometimes. 12 hours ago, I received a call from back in New York that a relative of mine had passed away. So I got on my computer and I arranged a flight. I'm here now in Hamad International Airport on a layover on my way to New York City to do the right thing. You need to set yourself up to be able to do that, to be able to respond to emergencies in a proper way and not have to bow out of obligations, of family obligations and things you just want to do. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing my children and my grandchildren and my sister and everybody else. I mean, it's a sad event, but had I not, I could have easily made these. Oh, gee, it's I wasn't particularly close with this. With the person who passed away, but he is married to one of my family members who I love dearly. So if I did not take this action, I'd lose self-respect and no doubt lose the respect of my family members as well. So, that's an important thing to consider when you're putting together a plan for being retired overseas. Important stuff. I'm going to close the video out talking about the reason I think most men retire in Southeast Asia, in Thailand, the Philippines, Vietnam, places like that. It's because of the women. We very often talk about the food, the weather, the beaches, the forests, the mountains in the north, Khao Yai jungles, the vibe, the style, yeah, all that's nice, but the main reason we come here is because of the girls. Let's get down to it. And if you're coming here, if you're coming here to live a comfortable retirement, and you're a man of means, you're going to be sought after. It's something. When I discovered it here, I didn't come to Asia because of the women. I came on a work contract 15 years ago, and I discovered that I was a sought after commodity in the relationship game here in Asia. And here's, my many years in different countries here. This is what I've taken away from my experiences here. In the West, we tend to have a much thicker layer of romantic veneer over our relationships. I think there's a quid pro quo in any relationship all over the world. I think that's quite a normal thing. And just because there is a transactional nature to relationships between men and women doesn't mean there can't be romance. There's just more of that romantic feeling in the West, coming out of Europe and into the United States. It's part of our culture. Here, they do get romantic, and there's certainly plenty of relationship passion and angst available here, but it's a thinner veneer. The transactional nature of relationships is much more upfront here. It's, what are you going to do for me? What's the transaction here? And the recommendation I would make, especially for men of means, if you're a decent person and you have a few bucks in the bank, you can find what you want here. I just put it that way. And what's available here? Well, you can go to one of the many entertainment zones and rent by the hour if that's your thing. I also have a friend who is married. He's a finance guy, British finance guy, and he's married into one of the wealthiest families in Thailand. He met his wife when they were students at Oxford together. So between those two extremes, there's every manner of relationship that is available here. And again, there's that thinner veneer of romance. It's much more transactional. So what I would recommend is be upfront about what it is that you want. If you're looking for a committed relationship where you take care of one another, make that known. That'll be very much sought after. But if you're just looking to play around, if you're looking to be a butterfly and go to the different flowers, you can do that here too. The women do that as well. Be upfront about it. Be upfront not only with them, but to yourself. Kind of get clear at what it is that you want to have happen here in your retirement years here in Bangkok, here in Southeast Asia. I have a little story that I want to tell you about the nature of relationships in Thailand that's endemic to the culture here. I was reading a memoir, a logbook actually, of a British sea captain from the 1740s. It was Captain Alexander Hamilton, no relationship to the American statesman. Old Al sailed up the Chao Phraya River into Ayutthaya, which was the capital of Thailand at the time, known as Siam back then. And he needed provisions, and he was there for about a year, and he wrote extensively about Thailand and the region, or Siam and the region. While he was there, another British merchant vessel, an armed British vessel, came into Ayutthaya. And at the time, the Siamese king was in conflict, at war with the Cambodians, the Khmers, as they still are today. There's an antagonism that exists between Thailand and Cambodia that flares up occasionally. They're at it today, actually. These days, there's been some shooting going on in the hills along the borderline between Cambodia and Thailand in recent months. But it dates back hundreds of years. And what Captain Hamilton observed was the Siamese king seeking to enlist the armed British ship in his conflict, and on his side against the Cambodians, and the proud captain denied him that. No, of course, we're not going to get involved with that. I just made it up, but something like that occurred. And one would think in the kind of diplomatic conflict in a conversation like that, there might be trouble. Well, no, the Thais, take pride in their ability to avoid conflict. And I'm like, oh, okay, so the Thai court accepted the British refusal to engage his warship on the Siamese side and invited them to stay and provide for their ship. And while they did, they indebted the crew and the officers of the ship, and to quote Hamilton, what he wrote, with wine, women, and debauchery. And once they got the bill up high enough, apparently there was a pay-for-play scheme of some sort involved. And once the bill was high enough, the Siamese king demanded that it be paid with the warship. And they went and, I guess, shot at the Cambodians. The point that I'm making here, what I took away from that story, is this kind of transactional stuff going on around resources and foreigners and Thai women and all of that stuff has been in place for hundreds of years. Prior to the British, it probably went on with the Dutch and the Portuguese and the Indians, the Persians, all long, for centuries. It's been going on and on and on. There is this transactional mindset endemic in Thai culture where it is not only acceptable, but kind of okay to use whatever resources the country has to extract goods and services and money from foreigners. It's still going on today. So keep that in mind. When you come here, set yourself up to be very much aware of the transactional nature of relationships. The best method to deal with that, I think, is get really clear on what it is that you want from a relationship and express that, because it's all available here. I saw a funny thing on X the other day. I saw a post from a woman, and it was a meme kind of post, and there was a woman there saying that in the dating scene, an American woman should not give herself up sexually. I'm paraphrasing. You give herself up sexually until she's extracted at least $2,000 worth of stuff from the man that she's dating and now giving herself over to sexually. I thought that was pretty funny. I wrote in the comments, for that kind of money here in Thailand, you could get 3 women, 2 ladyboys, and a sheep for a week on a yacht. All right, that's a joke. But you see the nature of the subject of this video. The transactional nature of relationships here in Thailand and in Southeast Asia in general is much, much different than it is in the States. It's in the West, in Europe as well. As long as you don't cause anybody to be embarrassed, lose face, as they would say it here, but as long as everybody can maintain their social status, pretty much anything is available to you. So get clear on what it is that you want, and make that clear in your reactions with the opposite sex when you get here. I was earlier today near Siam Square, where I was going to close this video out with a walk and talk, but the ambient noise was just crazy, and so I came back here and shot it in my apartment, so you didn't have to put up with more of the ambient noise that was certainly present at the beginning of this video. And I'll just close the video out with the walk I did around the streets around Siam Square this morning. If you're still here watching, thanks for watching. I certainly appreciate you. See you soon. So, you know what's going on here? What do you have to do with it? Now, this is a phenomena that I'm in complete disbelief of. I just don't understand this at all. This line, this queue of people standing in the hot sun is to get into a store that sells like little stuffed animals. Like, you know, gerbil-like stuffed animal creatures that are very popular, really. I don't know if they're having a sale or they're giving them away or free. You know, for the life of me, I cannot understand why people would queue up like this for a stuffed toy. Upmark. Yep, they're selling little stuffed animals that you hang off your pocketbook in there. Yeah, like that. There we go. There's one. She didn't take it out of the plastic. I guess you want to preserve it. You have to put such an effort into buying. Whatever floats your boat.